The ME analyzer on the left side was already measuring magnetic from a distance. The black metallic device measures nothing here. Both devices have a single-axis magnetic mode. I will always switch sides in each test so that both devices have been moved in the same areas. The green device measures nothing here. Both devices here have a single-axis magnetic mode. On the right side, the magnetic fields are stronger, so it's unlikely that the green device will measure something on the left side. The black device on the left side is what some people call a fake K2. It detects nothing on the left side. The one LED that burns always burns, unless the battery is flat, so this one LED means nothing. Both devices seen here have a single-axis magnetic mode. I don't see a reaction from this K2. It detects nothing in this axis. This black device is what people call a genuine K2. The ME analyzer has a single-axis magnetic mode, and the K2 likely as well. So far, this K2 detected nothing here. I see no reaction from the K2, while on the other side, the ME analyzer is providing detailed feedback. On this blue device, for magnetic fields, you need to watch at the numbers on the bottom only. Most of the time it will show 0.026 microtesla, even when there is nothing. I don't like what this blue device does. To me it looks like this blue device measures nothing here. For magnetic fields, look at the bottom numbers only on the Eric Hill. So far, this Eric Hill doesn't detect any magnetic fields. The manual doesn't say, but the black device probably has a single-axis magnetic mode, like the ME analyzer. The Eric Hill doesn't detect magnetic fields here. The EMF 390 has a triple axis magnetic mode, the ME analyzer single axis. A triple axis mode is better than a single axis mode. However, you can see that sensitivity and frequency range is more important than that, because the EMF 390 is just jumping between 0.2 and 0.3 milligauss everywhere. The level bar on the left responds, however, this doesn't count, because that level bar is for electric fields. So you see that a single axis mode can win from a triple axis mode. For magnetic fields, you must look at the left column on the orange device. Both devices here claim to have a triple axis mode for magnetic fields. The orange device detects no magnetic fields so far. That one LED at the bottom always burns. The EMF 390's level bar on the left reacts, but this doesn't count because this is for electric fields. Because the level bar on the right side is for magnetic fields. It looks like both devices don't detect magnetic fields here. On the orange device, the left column is for magnetic fields. The orange device claims to have a triple axis magnetic mode, the ME analyzer single axis. The orange device detects nothing here in magnetic mode. So a device with a single axis mode can sometimes be superior over one with a triple axis mode, when it is more sensitive and or has a wider frequency range. The sound comes from the tri-field. It's not a true sound function, but it can be useful. The orange device does not have a sound function for magnetic fields. The tri-field does measure some magnetic fields here in its standard mode. Both devices claim to have a triple axis magnetic mode. The orange device detects nothing in its magnetic mode, which is the left column. This test is with the tri-field in its weighted magnetic mode. In this mode, the tri-field portrays a pulsing magnetic field. Both devices claim to have a triple-axis magnetic mode. Today it looks like the EMF 390 measures something, but it could just as well not be. It's certainly not very clear. The tri-field definitely picks up magnetic fields here in its standard mode. Today the EMF 390 jumps between 0.4 and 0.5 milligauss everywhere. To me this doesn't look like useful feedback. The numbers on the ME analyzer gradually go up, starting much further away than the tri-field. The large number on the tri-field only starts picking up very close to the laptop's surface. The ME analyzer is clearly much more sensitive than the tri-field in its standard mode here. When the tri-field is in its weighted magnetic mode, it picks up much further away than in its standard mode in this situation. This time I disabled the sound function on the tri-field, so you can notice the difference in feedback compared to when the sound is enabled. This coordinate's magnetic mode is sensitive. It picks something up here. The coordinate has a single axis magnetic mode, the trifield triple axis. The trifield doesn't have a true sound function, but the coordinate has no sound function for magnetic fields. This ME analyzer has a nice sound function, but it's not a true sound function. The coordinate doesn't have a sound function for magnetic fields. The ME analyzer is more sensitive and provides more detail than the coordinate. The telephone pickup coil plus mini amp has a true sound function. I'm not impressed by the performance of the EMF 390 in this test setup. It's not easy to figure out if it measures something or not. It's very easy to see on the ME analyzer. It is clearly much more sensitive and detailed in measuring magnetic fields. The level bar on the left on the EMF 390 reacts to electric fields. But this test is about magnetic fields, so this doesn't count. The EMF 390 has a triple axis mode for magnetic fields. The ME analyzer single axis. The PF5 is probably single axis, the EMF 390 triple axis. The PF5 does not have a sound function. The EMF 390 has a beep and other sound settings, but it does not have a true sound function. The BF5 looks stable and useful in this situation. The EMF 390 doesn't tell us much here. The Cornet has a single axis magnetic mode, and the BF5 probably as well. Both these devices do not have a sound function for magnetic fields, but both devices look useful in this test. The ME analyzer has a single axis magnetic mode, the BF5 probably as well. The ME analyzer has a nice sound function, but it's not a true sound function. The BF5 doesn't have a sound function. The ME analyzer looks a lot more sensitive to magnetic fields. It provides more detail, and this one has more functions, but it's also a lot more expensive. Both devices here have a single axis magnetic mode. The sound function of the shortest device is a bit louder and a bit more practical in certain testing situations. The shortest device here is more sensitive, has more functions, and will provide more detail about a source, but is also more expensive.